So, about a year ago, I made a video talking about and showing the multiple challenges I made for the people over at my Discord server to do. It featured some really incredible clears on stages with operators that I didn't even think twice about. And ever since then, we've had multiple small bounty sessions and one entire season of some of our most interesting challenges that we've cooked up. And subsequently, you guys have come up with some of the most unique and fascinating clears for them. The level of ingenuity that the Arknights community has never ceases to amaze me, to say the very least. But if you don't know what the concept of what these bounties are, they are basically us taking a bunch of stages and making one mandatory challenge for it, all the while giving more optional challenge for bonus points that we use to rank the clears that the people over the Discord channel have submitted. The ways to acquire bonus points change from each challenge, usually playing with the stage's enemies or mechanic, but there are some that are always available, like bringing less operators, netting you more points. One little change that we did from previous season of bounty hunting is the implementation of emergency bounties. You see, we make it so that every third bounty of the season is noticeably more challenging than the others, and for this reason, I had help from the goats of the previous season in making 3 emergency bounties. The first one being Starscorn, the one to make my jaw drop every 2 seconds with their baffling clears with some of the most obscure character picks. The next one being 3 with him optimizing the hell out of every single clear, mastering every single strat he sees. And the last one, Zafang.
I'm gonna cream myself.
We're not gonna get anywhere by just yapping about the concept of bounties, so let's dive into some of the bounties that have happened since the last video, shall we? The first one being this classic stage, H5-3. Now this stage is painfully easy in this day and age. I mean, even back in the day, if you had a full squad of well-built operators, it shouldn't have been a problem. The restrictions of this stage had to be quite tough, to say the least. Limiting the amount of 6 stars was a given, but how does one beat a Poison Haze stage with no medic operator? Keep in mind, we also manually banned most operators that have strong sustains. Well, here's a really simple and clean clear of the stage provided by Lazy Couch, using only 4 operators with a 6 star of choice here being Angelina. Bet you haven't seen her in a challenge clear in a while. There were actually quite a few different 4 operator clears that were submitted for this bounty, but this one tickled my brain the most. Since most of the more viable sustain operators were manually sniped, the use of Gummy was extremely common. But of course, she can't solo sustain for the entire map. So what most people did was bring an operator like Spectre, Jay, fast redeploys, or a combination of all 3. But Lazy Couch just thought, screw all that, and used Angelina for her global heal, and also using her to take care of the more defensive enemies of the stage. Podenko was also there literally just to heal Grey Alt in particular. Speaking of which, Grey Alt solo DPS like 95% of all enemies in this stage. And the 5% that Grey Alt can't handle, Angelina is there to pick up the slack. Such a beautiful clear brings a tear to my eye. Thanks to Lazy Couch for providing the clear. Picture this. You're trying to do a challenge clear for a stage, but you're just short of victory. You've done everything perfectly. Your execution was flawless, but it just falls short. The last enemy of the stage slips past you and enters the blue box with a sliver of HP remaining. Just one more hit and it would have fallen. How far would you be willing to go to clear the stage with the same strat? Maybe just simple trust farming. Maybe you would level up an operator that you used, but it would mess up your level distribution of never going past level 60. Would you spend the unplanned resources on a module or mastery to clear the stage? Well, Resident Starscorn decided that they would spend 140 gold certificates on 3 copies of Hibiscus Altar for the 2% extra arch fragility. That hurts to witness, Star. Was it worth it? Ah, well, if you say so. Anyway, this clear is of course brought to you by Starscorn. Thank you so much for providing it. The main limitation of the stage being extremely limiting, cutting out most available operators in the game. You really need to pick and choose which operators that you bring along. The stage having a really early rush and basically only having Black Knight as an available vanguard makes this bounty quite a head scratcher. Also, you of course have to consider the late stage where the conditions force the players to open up the stage, making it a 3-lane map. And yet Star here cleared the stage with 3 ranged operators. A really impressive feat. Hibiscus Altar being showcased to her fullest potential, as her S2 can still take away at enemies that have exited her attack range. Ashe providing a clean opening to a stage while also giving some much needed burst damage with her S2. And of course, Asjani taking care of the bulk of dog rushes near the end of the stage. And as you can see, the 2% fragility did indeed matter. For the next bounty, we swing by Laterano for a guide ahead bounty. For this one, we wanted to give really restricting conditions, so we decided to unban the lowest tier of band operators, just so that people can have a little bit of fun with them for a little bit. Oh, okay, gotcha. Don't do that without rigorous testing. Next bounty happened when the Dungeon Meshi collab event dropped, and I made sure we didn't waste the opportunity to utilize this set of stages. The boss alone is one of my favorite in Arknights history mechanically. I loved this map so much that I even made my own submission just for the funsies. Since you can beat the stage without killing any phase of Kyobi at all, the next logical step is of course, to not even touch a singular hair on Kyobi. Damaging the boss at all will forfeit up to 600 points. This is the highest point acquisition method we have ever had in the bounties. Doing this basically made it mandatory to get a decent score for this bounty. I loved this stage so much. The clear in the background is actually my own. From testing, I had predicted that 3 particular operators would be seen a lot, those being Gator, Ho, and Maggie. I was actually most confident about Maggie since she just provides the global slow and bind on skill 1 without damaging Kyobi at all. So despite being a double cost operator, I thought that she would see some play. But a surprise to me that even though I was sort of right with Gator and Ho, seeing some high point clears, that Maggie was not seen at all in clears aside from my own. The one I saw most in clears was Kafka. I mean, of course, the instantaneous slumber and being fast redeploy, these combined with Silver Ash, Gator, and Lumen gave us the most optimized clear of this stage provided by Soras. She's a 5-star operator too. Why didn't I think of her? I guess I'm a fraud. But I want to highlight another clear in particular. One of the hunters, a popular male Knights player, also gave this bounty a college try. And of course they didn't have access to Kafka since she's a stinky woman. So what was the strat that Zane used, you might ask? Holy shit. Okay, moving on to another clear by Zane. Just wanted to highlight this clear in particular since the bounty itself is quite simple. We just eliminated any easy way to burst down the boss and elites, while also making it harder to tank by making a bonus condition of banning defenders. So why did I want to showcase this clear in particular? Well, let me tell you that Zane found verdant use. Yippee! Can you believe it? The little green goblin actually found a use in a challenge. It's almost unbelievable, and he got optimized out. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Okay, moving on to the big 3. The handcrafted, purposely designed to be ass-blastingly difficult bounties, the emergency bounties. Like I said, these 3 bounties were made by the top 2 performing hunters of the previous season. And Zafang,
I've already creamed myself multiple times.
I told them to go all out. So what did they cook up exactly? Well, before that, we are actually about to start Season 3 of bounty hunting real soon, so if any of this interests you, please join the Discord server. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Even if you're a casual player, it's always fun to just play with the challenges and see how far you'd go. We'll wait for you there. Well, enough preamble. I'll start chronologically with 3 Who's bounty. So 3 Who chose the much beloved stage of So Long Adele, SLEX7. And honestly, I think this stage was perfect for bounty. With the stage already being as inflexible as it is, how would we make the stage even harder, you ask? Well, we limited the hunters to a single ranged operator, meaning only one operator in the squad will be able to take advantage of the fountain to make white steam. Not only that, but it's discouraged to spam soda bottles, as each deployment of them will reduce the final point count. With the nature of this challenge itself, we thought of operators to ban for the stage. So what broken 6-star did we need to account for that isn't already in the permaban list? Well, broken operators that completely counter the stage are Fang Alt, Cruise Alt, April, Firewatch, Luna Cub. That's it. Through our fairly rigorous testing, we found that the only operators that actually trivialize the stage are 5-star operators. I was incredibly happy when we came to this realization since, I mean, come on. Imagine I'm the 5-star guy, and in this challenge, Fang Alt is banned but not Bagpipe. I feel a totally normal amount of pride for the little ones. But anyway, this bounty was proven to be quite huge challenge to our hunters. It took a longer time than usual for hunters to post a more optimized clear, and honestly, the same can be said for all these emergency bounties, where usually it'd take hunters a few hours to post a fairly optimized clear. This bounty took the hunters more than a day. The clear that I'd like to highlight for this bounty is by Zane once again. A team of 4 operators, and surprise surprise, they're all men. Such a fascinating clear, since they didn't even use the singular ranged operator that's allowed for this stage. Instead, they used Doc, using the Instructor Mod 1 upgrade to place them in the ranged tiles. We didn't even account for this. But seriously, 4 operators on the stage is hard enough, but all men and all melee is insane. The next bounty is brought to you by Zafang. Now Zafang needs no introduction, you all probably know the guy. And if you know him, you'd probably know that this guy isn't gonna pull any punches. H7-4. The original stat check. Not only this, but the main condition basically kills 95% of meta units ever created. Not only the recent ones like Wishadel, but also the classics like Aya. Not only that, but the bonus condition is ridiculous combined with this. Having your already low operator choices, you're forced to pick between physical or arts damage output only. You might think, well, the obvious choice is to pick arts, right? Since the debuffers almost all do arts damage. But please remember that the start of the stage is a rush of quite a lot of enemies that overwhelm you if you don't have vanguards. And now I'll list all the vanguards that solely do arts damage. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. To balance this out, we made it so that you may leak a single enemy and it'd still count for a valid clear. The stage gives you 2 lives, so might as well make use of it, am I right? I'd like to show 2 clears of this stage, one utilizing physical damage and the other using arts. These 2 clears actually belong to the winner of Season 2, Sora, and the first runner-up, Lazy Couch. In the background, you've been watching Sora's clear with only arts damage operators, and of course using KOB to deal with Patriot, and using a total of 3 arts guards, Stasia, Sideroka, and Viviana pre-mod, since of course Elemental will just forfeit the bonus for arts damage only. And I'm pretty sure her burn mod wasn't even out for global yet. Lazy Couch on the other hand took the physical route. Less points for it, but having to bring less operators at the same time. Seeing Schwartz S2 really took me back to the early days of Arknights, and utilizing the fact that Mumu clones technically do single target damage, and the Dorothy S1 usage is all insane. Both very great clears by our players. But with that, we go to the final bounty of Season 2 and the final bounty of this video. Ideal City EX8 has always been a meme stage, with a 7-star operator, the car, being such a powerful tool that many operators have been able to solo the stage. I mean, Jesus Christ, Penance can solo the stage by just killing the boss with just reflect damage. So the solution that Starscorn made was easy. You can still use the cars, but only thrice. Also, completely banning all snipers and casters as a bonus condition, making it fairly tough to kill the boss. Not only that, but you're extremely incentivized to keep the boss alive until you kill most of the stage's enemies. If you didn't know, the bounties so far have all had early bird bonus points. Basically, the faster you submitted clears compared to the other hunters, the more points you get. This is to counterbalance the time it takes to optimize clears and get more points than the ones that have submitted before you. Starscorn is notorious for not caring about this at all and just gets more points than even the semi-optimized early submissions by just optimizing even more. So for this bounty, we just decided to remove the early bird submission entirely. All this resulted in an amazing clear by Q, which you have been watching in the background. Here, there are lots of 5 stars represented. Broca is even here, and Waifu being the one to counter the enemy dodge mechanic in this stage. All the while utilizing each car launch beautifully. An amazing way to cap off Season 2 of Bounty Hunts. And, well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you at the bounties, dear hunter.